I was 16 when this happened, and even now, years later, I still can't explain it. My dad was away on a business trip. He had left 4 days earlier and wasn't supposed to return until the weekend. Everyone in the house knew he was gone. That night felt completely normal. I finished my homework, played some games, and went to bed around 11. Sometime during the night, I suddenly woke up. I wasn't sure why. The room was dark except for a faint glow coming from the hallway outside. I glanced at my clock. It was 2:47 a.m. As I rolled over, I froze. Someone was standing in my bedroom doorway. At first, I wasn't scared. The figure looked exactly like my dad. Same height, same build, same posture. I thought maybe he had come home early and was checking on me before going to bed. But something felt wrong. He wasn't moving. He wasn't speaking. He was just standing there, staring into my room. "Dad," I whispered. No answer. I pushed myself up slightly and looked closer. The figure remained completely still. Most people shift their weight or move their arms without realizing it, but not this figure. It was like a statue standing in the doorway. A strange feeling settled over me. My chest felt tight. Every instinct told me something wasn't right. I tried again. "Dad, are you okay?" Still nothing. The silence felt unnatural. The house itself seemed quieter than usual, as if every sound had disappeared. The figure continued staring into my room. I couldn't make out its face clearly because of the darkness, but I knew it was looking directly at me. Then, after what felt like several minutes, the figure slowly turned. Without making a sound, it walked down the hallway and disappeared around the corner. I waited, expecting to hear footsteps or a door close. Nothing. The silence returned. I stayed awake for another 20 minutes, trying to convince myself everything was normal. Maybe my dad had come home unexpectedly. Maybe I was just tired. Eventually exhaustion won, and I fell back asleep. The next morning, I went downstairs for breakfast. My mom was making coffee while reading emails at the kitchen table. Casually, I asked, "When did Dad get home last night?" She looked up immediately. "What do you mean?" "I saw him standing in my doorway around 3 in the morning. The expression on her face changed instantly. "Honey, your father is still in Chicago." I laughed because I thought she was joking. "No, seriously, I saw him." My mom slowly lowered her coffee mug. "He called me before I went to bed. He's still at the hotel." For a moment, neither of us spoke. A chill ran through my body. I immediately grabbed my phone and checked our family group chat. There was a message from my dad sent at 10:30 p.m. the previous night. He was still out of town. A few minutes later, he replied to another message from my mom. Everything confirmed the same thing. He had never come home. When he called later that day, I told him what I had seen. There was a long silence on the phone. Then he laughed nervously and said I probably had a weird dream, but I knew I hadn't been dreaming. I remembered opening my eyes. I remembered checking the clock. I remembered sitting up in bed and speaking to the figure. Most importantly, I remembered the feeling. The feeling that whatever was standing in that doorway wasn't my father. It only looked like him. That night, I barely slept. Every small noise made me sit upright and stare toward the doorway. Around midnight, I heard something. A soft creak, then another. The sound seemed to come from the hallway outside my room. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The hallway was empty, but as I scanned the darkness, I noticed something strange. At the far end of the hallway, near the stairs, a shadow seemed darker than everything around it. For a split second, it looked like someone was standing there, watching. The moment my flashlight touched the spot, it was gone. I told myself it was my imagination, yet I couldn't shake the feeling that whatever I had seen the night before had returned. And this time, it knew I had noticed it. The rest of the night passed without incident, but I never truly relaxed. Every instinct told me that the figure in the doorway had been real, and that it wasn't finished with me. Years have passed since then. Nothing like it ever happened again. My dad returned home safely from his trip, and life eventually went back to normal. Yet the memory never left me. Recently, while helping my parents clean old storage boxes, I found something unexpected. An old family photograph taken years before I was born. My dad was standing beside several relatives, and behind them, barely visible in the background, was a tall figure standing in a doorway. The figure's face was hidden in shadow. When I showed the picture to my dad, he became unusually quiet. Then he told me something he had never mentioned before. When he was a teenager, he woke up one night and saw a man standing silently in his bedroom doorway. He had assumed it was his father, but his father had been away on a business trip. Just like mine, neither of us knows what we saw. But sometimes, late at night, I still wake up and check the doorway before going back to sleep.